Welcome to the Longevity Formula. I'm your host, Dr. Brandon Crawford. Here's a question I want you to sit with. What if the reason you haven't healed has nothing to do with finding the right diet, the right supplement, or the right protocol? My guest today spent 7 years trying everything: carnivore, paleo, every supplement, every medication, multiple hospitals, tens of thousands of dollars, and he kept getting sicker until he was 120 pounds, unconscious in a hospital bed with a surgeon waiting outside his room ready to remove his colon. But then something shifted, and within 1 year, he was 90% symptom-free, completely off all medications, and had gained 65 pounds back. So what changed? What was the one thing he did differently that finally unlocked his healing? That's what we're diving into today with Dane Johnson.
Welcome to the Longevity Formula with Dr. Brandon Crawford. Let's explore the new era of wellness.
Dane, thank you so much for joining us here today. I am so thankful for you sharing your time, your expertise to help other people in this world.
Thank you, Dr. Brandon, for having me. I'm so excited to be here. And for everyone listening, I just want to help you get life-changing results, heal the gut, and get empowered. Thanks for having me. Feel blessed.
Absolutely, man. So let's actually start with getting to know you a little bit, if that's okay, because you have a really powerful story. So take me back. Like, what happened? Like, what was your lowest point and how did you overcome that?
So I was diagnosed with inflammatory bowel disease, actually two different versions of it, ulcerative colitis and Crohn's disease, by two different doctors at two different hospitals at two different times. And it was kind of that first thing that really hit me is doctors couldn't make up their mind what exactly it was, but we knew it was chronic inflammation in the bowel that was starting just to take my life from me. And, Brandon, this was such a hard thing because I was, that's hard for all of us, but this started at 19 years old. Family didn't have any issues. No one had ran with this disease, any of that. By the time I was 26, I had already taken biologics, mesalamine, prednisone, painkillers, Ambien, Canasa steroid enemas. I mean, I'm going through the gambit as a young man.
Right.
And on my 27th birthday, I'm hooked up to IVs, 120 pounds, fighting for my life. Jeez. So it was like this thing of, don't worry, we'll get you some mesalamine, we'll get you some prednisone, let's go on a restrictive diet, get rid of gluten, have gluten-free bread, go to coconut milk, get rid of the regular 2% milk. And Brandon, I'm a Virginia boy. Like I grew up around a farm. I worked at Papa John's Pizza at 14 years old. It was like, we'd only talked about macros. Like you just run off McDonald's. That's how we thought, right? So that was it. And so all of a sudden it's like, wait, I've got a poop disease that I'm going to have for the rest of my life. I can't talk to a girl about that. I can't talk to my dad about this. I can't talk to anyone about this. And I was a guy who wanted to do things. I had big ambitions. A little egotistical, but I had ambitions as a young man.
Absolutely, so, as you should.
Yeah, and by all of a sudden, it just started taking over my youth. And I know a lot of people are going through something similar, but it just got worse and worse. It started off as left-sided ulcerative colitis, about 7 centimeters. Then it was, no, this is more almost pancolitis, ulcerative colitis. Then into, nope, it's widespread Crohn's disease. That was the UCLA who was saying that. They said, no, they don't know what they did. Then I went to Mayo Clinic. They're going, no, it's ulcerative colitis with gastritis. And I go back to UCLA because I was living in California at that time, moved from Virginia to California. And they're going, no. I'm positive it's widespread Crohn's disease. You need to have a surgery to remove part or all of your colon. You failed Remicade. You failed Entyvio. You've been on prednisone, 40 milligrams tapered down about 20 times over 5-6 years. Mesalamine's not working. Steroids aren't working. You keep talking about this diet. It ain't working. The surgeon's waiting outside the room. You ready? Surgeon's right there. You ready? Because if you don't do the surgery, you might die.
Right.
And if you get any worse, we can't do the surgery anymore. This is 2014.
And you were how old?
26. It was I was turning 27. So my birthday's November. I went into the hospital mid-November and I didn't get out till right before Christmas. And then I was housebound for a year and I was bed rested for 3 months.
Man.
It was crazy. My dad flew in, my sister flew in, my mom flew in. My mom was like the CEO of the doctors because she had flown me all around the country. We had spent $30,000, $40,000 on flights, hotels, out-of-pocket insurance, the perfect diet we're reading in a book or a Dr. Google. Nothing. It was just getting worse and worse and worse and worse.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just a kid. I'm just angry. I'm angry at God. I'm angry at my parents. I'm angry that we don't have the money to keep doing this. We're a middle-class family. We don't got it like that. I'm broke. I'm 22 years. I don't have any money. I'm broke. I'm $40,000 in debt from college.
Yeah.
You know, I had to pay for college and go into debt for that. So we were in a scenario. And what saved my life is, number one, I'd already been practicing and starting to try natural medicine, but failing at it. So, okay, I get it. Once they kept saying biologics ain't going to work, you're going to be on drugs for the rest of your life, that really threw me. Prednisone, you're doing okay, then it got worse. You're doing okay, then it got worse. And it was like something had to change, and there was nothing of an outside force that could change my life. So through that chronic pain for years, I finally got brave enough. I finally got off my knees. And I like to say that's when I turned from a boy to a man. It usually happens in life, not just age. It's some life experience that kind of does that to us. I think that was the moment where I said, even though I don't feel like it, even though it's not my fault, even though I'm angry, I got to stand up and do something about it.
Right.
And so I had that kind of working in my head before I almost died. So that mindset change saved my life. Mom helped save my life. She calls up a doctor in Florida, right? Because I had seen a ton of doctors, and she was just telling them where I was at. Because antibiotics, I was on 4 antibiotics, 200 milligrams of infused prednisone, 3 grams of Dilaudid. Now, Dilaudid is a painkiller that's 7 times stronger than morphine. I know you know about that, Dr. Brain, like pain, like real pain. 25 bloody bowel movements a day. I'm 6'2", 190. I dropped to 123 pounds.
Good night, man.
They got these machines trying to massage my legs because I didn't get out of bed. I had to relearn how to walk, not because my nervous system didn't work, because my muscles had so much atrophy. I couldn't flex my foot. I couldn't move up a stair.
What period of time did it take for you to get into that state, from like initial onset of symptoms to that point in time?
7 years. First symptoms, 19, because it was kind of okay. Like it was blood, but it was like 5 bowel movements a day, little blood, little mucus. I can get through my life, take a little prednisone. You know how sometimes when you start getting sick, you just push it aside so you can go after your career, or you can get through.
I'm good at that.
Oh yeah, I'm good at that too. It's like, let's go to the bar. It's like, I'll be there. I'll just take, the extra 20 milligrams of prednisone, go, knock down a beer with a buddy. So it was that as a 23-year-old kid. So I just kind of got through it. And then by 26, my body said, nope, you're done. You can't cheat this anymore. And what happened, is one, massive stress. I had a big breakup in my life with a long-term significant other. I had been flying around the country because I had a career also going, ironically in this, I had a career going as an actor. I was doing still print modeling, Nautica, Tommy Hilfiger when I was like 20 years old, 22 years old. So I had this dude, I'm from Virginia. I was raised in the country, and I just had this career, losing it. So anyways, it was just kind of getting worse and worse and worse. And then by December 2014, it nearly killed me. They came to tell my mom, we don't know if he's going to make it through the night. We don't know why he's getting sick. Doctor in Florida tells my mom, she goes, I think he's got something called cytomegalovirus. I think this virus, it's like similar to EBV, Epstein-Barr. I think the virus, because he stained for it in one of my colonoscopies. When you got IBD, they want to do a colonoscopy every 6 months usually. Every 6 months, once a year at least. So he said, I stained for it in one of his colonoscopies, and I found it just in one sample, because they take samples of the tissue. And I found it in one of the samples. I think this boy's got to go on an antiviral chemotherapy, because the prednisone's not working. The antibiotics aren't working. The Remicades not working. The salamine's not working. It was like they had thrown everything at it. They were scratching their head. These are urgent care doctors, right? This is not even my GI.
Right.
I was in an ambulance and going to he's not going to make it, And so they were scratching their head at it. My insurance wasn't any good, right? Because I was a struggling guy trying to learn how to read lines. It was, all of a sudden, so they called my insurance and said, you don't give him this basically $100,000 chemotherapy for the next 2 months. He's going to die. So they gave me a sample. They got proof that I actually started getting better. 3 days later, I woke up, became conscious again. I was unconscious for probably about 2 weeks. I don't remember it. I was hallucinating on all the drugs. And, when you're on 3 grams of Dilaudid every day for a month, you're going to see some things. And
that's going to do it.
You're going to be floating. So long story short, I checked myself out of the hospital, called my naturopath professor, because I was back in school for natural medicine. And then the next problem was I was housebound for a year, bedridden for 3 months. And it was just the most excruciating thing. It's just like, imagine eating glass and trying to poop out glass 15 times a day.
Jeez.
And then you can't walk. So I couldn't walk from my bed to the couch. And then my nervous system was so shot. If I watched anything on TV, you have this awareness. If you even watch a cartoon, cartoon's got stress. Like you watch Moana, there's a lava monster. My body can't handle watching a lava monster try to kill a little girl on the boat, right? Like I couldn't watch anything. I couldn't eat anything. I was in chronic pain. Mm-hmm. And so it was a really hard thing. And the crazy thing is I dedicated myself at that time to really take the failure of self-healing the 4 years prior, because I had been trying for 4 years, carnivore diet, paleo, fasting, making my own homemade yogurt, bone broth diet, stand on my head, clap my toes. I mean, I was trying. And then I just really took all those failures and said, these are going to be learning experiences. And I'm going to become the CEO of my health. Something switched in my mind. And I just said, even though this is not my fault and I'm in pain and I'm angry and I'm lonely and all this immense energy, I'm going to will myself to take steps, to take action and start taking leadership in my health. Because the day before that, it was Mayo doctor, what am I going to do? Mom, what am I going to do? UCLA doctor, what am I going to do? Dr. Google, what's the perfect supplement that's going to help with this? Mm-hmm. And so about a year after that, I was 90% symptom free, 95. I had gained 65 pounds of weight. I got myself off all medications. I have not taken a medication since 2015.
Nice.
And I was able to get a colonoscopy that showed 90% better. And my UCLA doctor was flabbergasted. Yeah. Because she didn't know I'd stopped the medications.
So the question there is, because anytime, I've got a patient and they have this great recovery and they go back to their other doctor, like,
yeah,
oh, cool. And whatever. And they move on. Did anyone ask, like, what'd you do? Like, did they actually ask you questions and try to learn from this experience?
And Dr. Brandon, I was begging them to ask. I was ready to try to say, guys, you're so smarter than me, but let me chalkboard this with you real quick to say what I did. Because obviously what I do along with what you do is the answer. It's not one or the other. It's both.
Yeah, it's a team.
And I was just like, and she just said, I remember her, she comes in and she goes, I was going to be really upset about you about stopping your Entyvio, but then I saw your blood work and you're no longer anemic. Your CBC's normal. Your CRP's normal. What have you been doing? I said, let me tell you what I've been doing. I've been taking all these things. I've been doing the Indigo Naturalis. I've been doing fasting. I've been going into the mucosal healers. I've been taking bone broth. I'm doing meditation twice a day, work my nervous system, earthing plus sunlight. And then I just went, oh, and she was like, okay, calm down. And she just said, okay, whatever you're doing, just keep doing it. I can't do anything for you if you're not going to take your medication. So come see me if you need me.
Oh my gosh.
Basically, I can't help you. Good luck.
Wow. Okay.
And I walked out with one hand, like I just got a sigmoidoscopy, 90% better, no medications. I'm 185 pounds. I've got 2 to 3 normal bowel movements a day, a little bit of loose stool, a little bit of urgency here and there. Like I'd gotten, and I had some ups and downs after that. It wasn't like I just learned how to walk on water. So I had one hand in the air, like, yeah, let's go. And I had the other hand like, I'm alone. My doctor doesn't want to see me. My family lives 3,000 miles away. I got a little apartment that I don't even know if I can work and pay for.
Wow.
It was just a heavy, heavy, heavy time. And this is, even 10, 15 years ago, like this type of podcast, it just wasn't around.
Sure.
Instagram, there were a few books. Like my mentors were the people who wrote books like Jordan Rubin, The Maker's Diet, or Elaine Gottschall, The SCD Diet, like, a Tony Robbins, Unlimited Power, Unleash the Giant Within. I just needed him in my mind because I was stuck in a house. I was alone in a house, broke, 3,000 miles away. And I was just refusing to give up my freedom and give up my time. And when you go through that kind of pain, but you were willing to fight and you're willing to get punched in the nose, it just changes you. And I'd say from there, it's just been pain to purpose. And since then, I've just taken that energy and I've turned it into passion. I've turned it into willpower. It's not easy. Life isn't easy. It's full of doubt and anger and resentment. And it's also full of gratitude, love, excitement, success, new realities building. So I've just been on that wave and I've just said, let my health be my number one priority and let it guide me to creating something that I needed. So I just went into the world and said, there's a lot of people who might be smarter than me in many ways, but I'm just going to build what I needed when I was chronically sick for years. And my mother was crying every night, not knowing how to help me. My father was crying every night, and I was just a kid, and I didn't know how to get out. And since then, I think I can take the throne that I've worked with more people who have IBD than any doctor, coach, person, clinic on the planet. Like maybe people, clinics, that specializes in colonoscopies have done more colonoscopies, but coaching, helping people get symptom-free and remission of IBD, I've worked with thousands over the last 11 years. Amazing. And we see my team, we have a team of practitioners. We see about 250 IBD clients at any given time. So it's just passion, purpose, and our team has IBD. That's another thing so when I talk to you, Dr. Brandon, it's like, it's so hard. Like we talk, people have MS or, lymphoma, cancers or IBD. It's just like, we need relatability. We need connection. We need people who've been through it, not just talking to us from an ivory tower.
Right. Absolutely. It's a powerful story. It's funny you mentioned Tony Robbins when you started talking. It's like, I wonder if he is a Tony Robbins guy. I was literally thinking that. And then you can feel it.
Oh, he was my brain. I remember I was like 140 pounds. I just started walking and I had such urgency, right? Because I'd have 20 bowel movements a day. So it was like, I have to be able to walk to a stop sign and not fall and not or faint. Like I got this scar from dehydration anemia, like severe, because when you lose that much weight, you'll stand up and just collapse.
Yeah. Right.
So I was like, okay, don't faint. Get your calves and ankles and legs to work to go there. And also don't poop your pants. Like, you want to talk about shame? It was like, right. What did I just shoot in Men's Health like 4 months ago? What happened? It was just crazy what God did in my life. Like crazy, awesome. Like give with one hand and give with the other. It was insane. Right. So yeah, super passionate on it. Yeah.
So take us through. So you had that lowest point, they said, hey, we've got to operate or you're not going to make it, et cetera. And then, so you took over, you said, I'm in control of my health.
Yep.
And absolutely, that's step one. Absolutely. You had already been doing a lot of different diets and different things, but what was different? What did you do to really turn the corner?
Great question. And so this is something I think is so important for everyone. And I actually created a list. I'm going to try to remember everything on that list because it's, really key on that. So number one, the first thing I did is I found a place to get trained. So I made getting trained on how natural medicine works, integrative, Eastern versus Western, mitochondria. I started getting trained on these things. So I found a place to get educated every day. When I was housebound, I was working 30, 40 hours a week on understanding and getting basically a degree in all of this, So I was meeting with my naturopath professors over Zoom, and they, two of them, Dr. Medea and Anale, they both lived in LA. So one of them would come over. They're the ones who taught me about bentonite clay and binders and psyllium husk, and when my body was ready, how to calm that down. So number one is I needed a team. I didn't have a team. I had a team of conventional doctors, but I kept outsourcing the education. When you want to heal, you have to become the answer. And you want to get trained. You want to get your team. You want to even pay for your team to empower you. So I think a lot of people think, I want to pay for the hack. Give me the supplement, give me the diet, give me the sheet, and I'll do it. And I'll pay you for the sheet. But really what you want in life is you want to get self-empowered. That's actually the golden goose. That's even more valuable than temporary symptom relief. That's what people do. They hack it, they get symptom relief a lot of times, and then they go back and they don't actually know what they're doing. They can't respond to adversity. They only know MPS, Magic Protocol Syndrome. The second thing is I became the CEO of my health. I journaled 10 minutes morning and night. So I ask you, Dr. Brandon, when I was looking at my case, I was like, I can't tell you what my symptoms were or what my variables were last week. How many bowel movements do you have on Tuesday? Did you take 3? No, I was just saying to the generalized to the world right now, the space-time continuum of the podcast. And so anyone listening, how many bowel movements did you have on Tuesday? What about Friday? What new variables did you add in? Were you stressed? Did you increase the amount of kefir? Did you increase curcumin? Did you go out and eat at a restaurant that accidentally had canola oil or cut olive oil that you're actually very reactive to when you're with a sensitive GI? Did you, not sleep as well? Did you have certain EMF on right now? Did you have blue light until 1 a.m. going on? You have to look at the variables. So what I did is I journaled just 10 minutes in the morning, 10 minutes at night, and Dr. Dane put Dane in check 10 minutes twice a day. Third thing is, this also really, really helped me with my nervous system, is I had to let go of being a victim. So the way I did that is I did prayer and purpose every morning. If you listen to people talk about breath work, meditation, or people who believe in God, whoever you are, you're going to see that there's this common breakdown of how to regulate your feelings, how to regulate the spirit, how to regulate your nervous system. So if I feel angry, that's going to affect my heart rate. That's going to affect my cell-to-cell communication. That's going to affect my microbiome. It's going to affect my digestion. So here's how I can tell you. If you're not salivating in your mouth before you eat, you're not in the rest and digest mode. And you're eating in a sympathetic state where your digestive enzymes will naturally be lower, meaning you're at more increase for poor bioavailability of nutrients, poor stomach acid, poor pancreatic enzyme flow, and more increase of SIBO reactions and undigested food and urgency and diarrhea. So what you feel matters to what physically happens in your body. So prayer purpose, healing journal every day. I had to get a training center and not be alone in this and really get a place where I could go. I had to get happy before I could get healthy. People have to learn to dance in the rain. If you're going to not be a victim, you've got to start focusing on gratitude. So even though I lost my health, Dr. Brandon, I started focusing on the fact that I didn't lose my mom. I didn't lose my best friend. They were still right there. Hey, what would you rather, Dr. Brandon? Would you rather have someone in your family die or deal with chronic disease? Which one would you pick?
Oh, absolutely. I'll deal with it myself.
Perspective, right? Thank you that it's me and not them.
Yeah.
Thank you that I still have the people that I love and care about. Thank you, I still have my eyes. Thank you, I have my feet. Some people are blind. You got to put it in perspective. If you listen to anyone on stage, and that's where I started listening to people who had gone through hard things on stage, it's very similar. The universal truth is it's about perspective. Happiness is a perspective. Gratitude is a perspective. And what are you feeding your soul? And if you allow yourself to be a victim, you're going to feed your soul victimhood. And that is a dying energy.
Right.
You can't
That's powerful.
win. You can't win. We all have our own unique paths, but it's the same energy for all of us to win. If you can't identify the energy in your life, you can't win in your custom, unique journey. How much are you feeling? Not thinking. Feeling's most important. Are you feeling anger, fear, doubt, victimhood, worry, anxiety? Or are you feeling love, gratitude, hope, peace, patience? I have time. I'm not in a rush. That's one that I have to keep working on. I'm always in a rush. I don't have time.
Same. Absolutely.
That's one of the cons of being an entrepreneur. Like me and you, we do big things, and there's a pro and con of that. Another thing, guys, side note, whatever you choose in life, whether you want to get married or have kids or make a lot of money or just go live on a beach, there's a pro and con to every choice we make. There is no choice. There's no life path that doesn't have some cons. So it's like, you want to take back your health? There's going to be cons to it, meaning you better watch out for alcohol. You better watch out for crappy food. You better learn how to fast or do intermittent fasting or stop snacking. You better learn to go to bed on the time. You're going to have to deal with the energy of, I'm a boring person.
Right. Yeah.
I'm a boring guy. You ever think that, Dr. Bray? You're like, man, I'm pretty boring. Like if you would have told me I'm like this when I was 20, I would have been like, I would not be interested in hanging out with him. Right.
Absolutely.
So that's a spiritual journey. Right. So the other thing so you have to get happy before you can get healthy. So going back into when I was sick and I started getting healthy while I was housebound, I made my bed. I didn't live in a dirty house. I put Bob Marley on when I was making breakfast. I want to love you. I wasn't alone, Bob Marley. And then me and Tony Robbins would go have a chat for 10 minutes and it was free because I bought the book for $2.99 on Amazon. And I had my highlighter. So when Tony said something that was fire, I highlighted. And if I wanted to incorporate it in my life, I went to a different notepad and I rewrote what he said. I read a book a month. A book a day is the stupidest thing in the world.
Right.
If you're going to read something, make it a life-changing read. Highlight, rewrite it, and reread the page if you need to. And you know what really hacked my health, Brandon, also is so I started going from, I don't like reading to I'm reading 4 hours a day because I'm stuck in a house. Remember, I don't have a job. I'm not making money. I got a lot of anxiety still. I'm trying to work on. I'm sick. Can't walk. I'm trying not to go on disability and move back in with mom at 27 years old. I'm trying to keep in my California apartment in the sunshine. I can afford it. So one of the things I realized is when I read, I couldn't think about my problems at the same time. Your feelings are overwhelming your mind. You need to pick up a book because you cannot get through that page and think and worry at the same time. Try it. You'll lose track of where you are on the page.
That's actually really good advice. I like that.
It was fire for me to change. And that's the thing. You're going to have these epiphanies. When you go on the road of the foggy road of I'm going to change my life, Now I'm going to dedicate this. It's going to be uncomfortable. If it's not uncomfortable, you're doing it wrong. There's no way to grow in life that doesn't equal discomfort. But when you do it, you're going to have some epiphanies that are universal truths, and it's going to make you wise. So all of a sudden, I'm realizing I got to get out of my head. I got to feel better. So I'm reading. That's how I went from reading 30 minutes a day to even 4 hours a day many times, because I was getting so much dopamine from Tony dropping bombs on me, or Dr. Susan Blum or Jordan Rubin. And all of a sudden I had all these new possibilities. If you want to change your life, guys, that is your word, possibilities. You need to cast the fishing pole. You need to get an iron in the fire, possibilities. You got to live in that world. It's possible now. It's not even possible for you to heal if you ain't trying. You got to make that. Okay, it's possible because I've changed my diet. It's possible because I've gotten a team. It's possible because I'm now journaling. And if anyone wants my journal, Dr. Brandon, I'll give it in the show notes. Completely free, whatever that. It's the same journal I used for a year to heal. I filled that thing out I filled it out for like 7 months straight, right? Every day, boom. So that was another thing that's really going to change, is like, you have to recondition your spirit. Working your spirit is like working your muscles. If you're doing legs once a week or twice a week, why in the world do you not think that is the same exact theory you need to do for your spirit? Your spirit is a muscle. You don't use it, you lose it. So what's the spirit? The spirit creates the energy that cannot be bought. Brandon, can you buy trust? Can you buy love?
No way.
Yeah.
Nope.
Faith? Nope. These are all spiritual energies. You need them for longevity. You need them to heal. You need them to become the person you imagine. So that's a walk. That's an energy. That's the beautiful thing about life. You can't buy that. Now you can use your money to help condition it. You can use your money to get your team to help support it, to hold you accountable, to make you aware of it, to act on it, and then pick you up as you fail. Because we're all going to fail. Failing's a part of success. I failed for 4 years before I ever got any results doing what we're talking about. So anyone who's kind of impatient with this or overwhelming, trust me, I've been there. So
I was actually going to just comment on that, because I mean, I've had my own health crises and going through one right now with a herniated disc and whatnot. And, you know, I totally get it. I do that. I do the journaling. I set my mindset, but halfway through the day, I'm sitting here with a searing pain down my leg, and I'm going, holy crap, you know, I can't think straight. All this kind of stuff, right? It starts to, you get that lull, right? So those ups and downs, this is a roller coaster. So everyone listening, like, this is not just a listen to Tony Robbins and then boom, it's all forward trajectory from there. Like, this is a rough road, and you definitely need the wherewithal and you need the mental fortitude to navigate it, for sure, but it's doable.
Yeah, it is. And Dr. Brandon, just to give people that relatability, after those results, about a month later, my buddy talked me into going to Thailand. And I crawled back on the plane to Thailand, and I went back to the hospital. Like, I went to Thailand and I had to go back on antibiotics, and I had to go for 2 weeks because I got salmonella poisoning there. My microbiome was still weak and shot. And even though I was eating very clean in Thailand, this was a 27-year-old kid had been cooped up for years. And I just made a dumb decision. The point is, I actually, you know how I got it? Because I was doing really well with like bananas or blueberries. So I did like a paleo type, like I had built, as I healed, I built up a way where I could handle things like a little bit of congee, white rice. I could handle meats, be careful with the fats, be careful with too much red meat if you don't handle iron. So it wasn't like what I was eating on after 1 year and I was eating on month one. They were completely different. But I found that I could do like pureed fruit shakes pretty well that were low lectins, no seeds, no skins. If you can't squish it, don't eat it. That was my rule. So all of a sudden I got a fruit shake of banana, blueberry, good stuff, but I got it from one of the fruit guys on the road. Guess what he washed that fruit in? And I am fevers, body's free. I'm like, what did I just do? I had to fly Thailand, China, 15-hour flight, 25 bowel movements, body's freaking out, go on antibiotics. But then because I had trained myself, I had this huge speed bump, but then I immediately, within a couple of weeks, I was back. I was good.
Wow.
Because
so what'd you go to Thailand for? What was that all about? Was that just for fun? What was that for?
I was just like, I wanted to travel. I think a lot of us, right? When you're 20 something, you're not married yet, you don't have kids yet. I had been stuck in a house. I had lost a lot of my 20s, and Thailand looked so cool to me, and I had done some traveling and I always liked the travel. So I just think I got bit by like, I'm going to do this. I can do this. I'm going to prove. Because one of the things that also happens that we have to address is once you start getting some results, you need to prove to yourself that you're no longer a sick person and you're not made of glass. It's part of spiritual healing, in my opinion. So if you walk around and you're on this perfectly strict diet for the rest of your life, my question is, are you doing it because you want to or you need to? If you're doing it because you need to, there's a spiritual fear still living inside of you, and it will keep you in a state of mental and emotional sickness. So one of the thoughts as you get healthier, this is more advanced talk. As you get healthier and healthier, and you say, well, I eat paleo, and you go, okay, well, you eat that way because you need to or you want to? If your body can't handle a bit of sprouted, pressure cooked quinoa, are you really that healed? Is that really a strong stomach? If you can't handle a vodka on I'm not saying it's good for you, it's bad, but if your body can't literally deal with that, to me, I felt like a bubble boy, like I'm in this bubble and any moment it could pop. How can I handle the stress of having children or growing my career or building the company of my dreams? I can't handle quinoa.
Right.
I can't handle zucchini. I can't handle a salad. I can't handle a pumpkin seed.
Right.
So that's more an advanced talk. There's layers to this thing. There's layers to the game of life. There's layers to marriage. There's layers to business. There's layers to fitness, longevity. There's layers of healing. But it's, you can get creative. You can be grateful for it and you can accept it. So there's a lot of, so I think another big thing I did, Dr. Brand, that I wanted to share with people is I use this word because it's such a strong word. I divorced Western world thinking.
I like that.
That was a hard thing for me to do. I really, like the idea of gluten, the idea of fast food, the idea of most restaurants and what happens there, alcohol, any kind of recreational. When I was sick, I smoked a lot of marijuana. It was like escapism for me. It numbed the pain and it worked. And I'm not saying it's bad, but as I kept going, I didn't want to escape anymore. I wanted to be good. So there were layers, right? It's a good time to do things and a bad times. Remember that what we talk about, guys, it's about like chess. It's not checkers. Like there's a time to move your bishop. There's a time to use your horse. There's a time to keep it back. There's no perfect answer. It's what's right for you in that moment. And if you can't read your game, you're not going to make smart moves. So take a generic thought and then say, how do I do this for me? That saved me, Brandon. The last thing I want to say about things I did different. We haven't talked about a supplement and we really have talked minimal about food. Just highlight there how much you can change. So one of the big things is I stopped judging everybody's opinion on how to heal. This is this. If I could give you one thing that's going to change your life, this is something that's going to be huge. I would look at people who'd say carnivore and they were angry at the vegans. And they were screaming at the vegans. The vegans were screaming at the carnivore and paleo was screaming and everyone was screaming. So what I did is I learned everyone's thing and I just cherry picked to this. And that's why I called my program Shield, because it's about your personal customized answer. The thing I did is I met this guy, he was a fruitarian, right? And he actually had good results getting people in remission, only eating bananas and like lettuce and like avocado. It was crazy diet. Like for the rest of your life, you're going to eat 25 bananas a day. Wow. What? Like I'm the banana man, right? And so people have gotten into remission doing that. There's benefits. So I said, okay, why does it work? How do I use this? I'm not going to do this the rest of my life. And what isn't working for me? So when I started doing it, I was starting to lose weight. I have no weight to lose. When I did carnivore, I realized that it helped with, when you learn about healing, you know your body needs excess amino acids and protein to heal. You can't recover the muscle. You can't recover the cell without excess protein. So I was like, okay, there's certain benefits. It's also very low in sugar. Fiber was a little hard. You go in the bathroom 20 times a day. You might want to slow that down. Meat can help with that. Meat's dead food. It's gluten-free. It's dairy-free. It's seed oil-free. It doesn't have any polysaccharide carbohydrates. No sugars. It's like, whoa, that's pretty much what most of the diets are saying. Against all grain, paleo diet, specific carbohydrate diet, they're all kind of saying that. So I said, so what I did, I started interfusing both of them. Now you look at someone like Paul Saladino. What'd he say? He goes, I was carnivore. That was wrong. Now I'm fruit, honey, and carnivore. I'm like, that's kind of what I figured out too.
There you go.
Monosaccharide fruits, honeys. And then I said, okay, let me figure out polysaccharides. Let me be specific about lectins. Let me look at things like phytic acid and oxalates and things like that. So what I did is I learned. So I created something called food philosophy. And the definition of food philosophy is to look at any plate of food and assess its risk for you in real time. So what I want to manifest for everyone listening right now is forget a diet, build a lifestyle. Look at any plate of food and assess its risk. Why would it be a problem? What is it going to take for you to be ready to try that? And why would you want to try that emotionally? My example, Dr. Brandon, if we go to a wedding and they've got cake and wine, generically, no, that's bad for me. I have IBD. Don't do that. That's fear-based. Now I'm going to go and say, I'm going to take 2 caps of NEC, 2 to 3 caps of curcumin. I'm going to use a binding agent to grab this stuff. I'm going to take glutamate acid that helps break down gliadin and gluten before it gets to the small intestine. If I take 4 caps, 90% is broken down before the small intestine. And I'm only going to do this if my nervous system is actually celebrating. So I'm not going to cheat. I'm going to celebrate. So I'm going to have a celebration meal. And my rule is I only have celebration meals when I'm actually celebrating. And then I'm going to use my shield to protect myself from it.
That's awesome.
You want to drive 100 miles an hour? You want to drive 30? Do it smart. Same thing with a car, right? What's the problem with driving with a 16-year-old? You think they're going to kill you because they don't know how to use the vehicle. Do you know how to use the vehicle food? It's the same thing. Get experience. Get trained. Let's use the metaphor of the car. Do you know how to drive in the dark, the mountains, when it's icy, when it's snowy, when it's raining, when you're on a highway next to an 18-wheeler who doesn't see you in their blind spot? Like, this is all stuff that me and you know, that we sit down with a 16-year-old driver and we're going, you don't know how to handle the situation. When you're trying to live with longevity and health, it's the same thing. Assess the situation and look at the pros and cons and make an experienced adult decision that supports you. Now you don't have a diet. You got a lifestyle. You just make smart decisions and you build emotionally this idea of divorcing Western world, but you don't actually enjoy poisoning yourself anymore.
Right. Yeah. And those are kind of one and the same. But so what you're talking about requires a vast amount of knowledge, right? And that's what you're talking about. You're talking about reading, the first thing you're talking about consuming is knowledge. Like the first thing you said, like, we're not talking about food. We're talking about consuming knowledge. We're talking about consuming things that we're not eating. We're putting in our mind. So what are some places that you could send people or references, or is it like, where do people gain this knowledge? Is that why they need to work with you guys or someone similar? Like, how does someone build that repertoire of knowledge so that they can do that?
Well, I would say that wherever you go, and not like, I don't want to set this up as some kind of thing. Yes, we can help. Yes, this is what we do, but you need to go where you have trust and integrity and you feel called to go. Mm-hmm. And so what I did is I spent years trying to piece all this together. So that's why I did this, because I said I needed all this in a simple place that I could start getting all this together in a couple of weeks. Like, if I could just, someone could just kind of give you everything and then give you a coach who's going to customize your plan and understand where you are and build your plan, not the plan. That's what we do. But besides that, what I would do is start here. I want you to write down 4 or 5 things that you are going to work on no longer doing. Before you worry about what you're going to do, I want you to focus on the first thing is, once your mind's there, you focus on what you're not going to do. Meaning most of the problems is really just getting out of the body's way. That's why fasting is one of the fastest ways to heal. How many supplements, how many calories do you need, right? How much money does it cost? Nothing. So if you look at that spectrum, you say, what am I getting out of my body so my conscious divine body can start doing for me? So what am I not going to do? I'm not going to stay up past 10:30. I'm going to go to bed. I know I feel like an old man. Go to bed. I'm going to stop drinking alcohol. Stop it. What are you doing? Learn to raise your hands and dance and hug sober. Okay?
Right.
What am I not going to do? I'm not going to have top 5 food allergies. Processed dairy, some of us, eggs is a problem, which is crazy enough. Gluten, and I'm going to seed oils. And now, if you're really specific, I'll give you a little bit of a harder one. Only eat what you cooked or someone prepared for you for 30 days. Dude, 14 days. Your life will change if you only eat something that was prepared for you or you prepared yourself, just 14 days. It's cheaper. It's a little inconvenient. But remember, we use money to buy convenience. So do you want to spend money or spend time? When you heal, you have to do both. But one of the best ways you can spend less money is spend time. 3 currencies: energy, time, and money. The strongest, energy and time. Money is actually the one that's the weakest. So then I want you to say, these are things I did, Brandon. So I said, I don't know how to heal. I don't know where to go. So let me just start with what I can control. Journal, sleep, mindset, spiritual. I'm only going to eat what I prepare. I don't know if I should be carnivore. I don't know if I should be paleo. I don't know if I should eat this and the other. I'm just going to only eat what I cook. Okay. And so I did that for a long time. To this day, probably 85% of my food that I ingest is prepared in my house, or it's like something very, very specific. And so you'll find that people who get to the 0.1% of success in life, they've nailed in their variables. They've trained their spirit and their mind to not go outside of variables that often. Like success isn't just being able to go do everything in the world. That's actually how you fail. You're like, oh, I got all the money in the world, I'm going to do everything. No, you're going to feel terrible. And you're going to hurt yourself because you can be a billionaire and sick. Tell that to Steve Jobs, right?
Yep.
So
I've got some patients like that.
Yeah. So you just, that's spiritual energy. You can't buy it. And my naturopath professor said it to me and it stuck with me. He said something, I remember it for the rest of my life. He goes, most people will sacrifice their health to get rich, and then they'll spend their riches to get healthy. I'm like,
yes,
mic drop. That's me. That's me. I worked 3 jobs. I worked since I was 14 years old. Saved every dollar I could do. I was willing to work whatever. I didn't care because I had all the time and I had all the health, but I was broke.
Yeah.
So, it's like, can you do both? For all my type A fire people out there listening, how do you do both? But do not sacrifice your health. Because if you have more time on this planet, if you have more energy on this planet, money compounds, time doesn't.
Right.
So that's what I did. So books, like I'll give you top books. You need a mind book that's going to work for you. I like Dr. Joe Dispenza, Breaking the Habit of Being Yourself. That was fire. I like 1980s Tony, honestly. Like,
absolutely.
That's me, dude. So unlimited power. I think Unleash the Giant Within, I liked a little bit more. And then you need a book that's going to start just teaching you about like the gut. And I haven't written a book of that magnitude. Maybe one day I'll feel called to do it. I don't feel called to at the moment, but what's a good one is Supergut by Dr. Davis. So those are like 3 examples of where you could go. And then you want to start I would start following people who've done what you want to do. Try to find 6 to 8 people that you can follow that do what you want to do. Get on their email list, follow them on Instagram, follow their YouTube, and just start ingesting what they're saying until you learn their key points or read their book. And I want you to listen to people from different places. And so the places you're going to want to learn about are the animal-based world. You want to learn about the plant-based world. You want to learn about the fasting world. You want to learn from also people who are extremely disciplined and organized. How did they deal with the emotional balance of this is how I work, this is how I wake up at 5 a.m, this is how I get so much done in an 8-hour period, this is how I buy back my time, this is how I delegate, this is how, people who've done like self-healing. So you got to search for that. I'm on Instagram. Crohn's Colitis Lifestyle is us, Dane Johnson 1 on Instagram. You can check us out on our YouTube channel too. I'm going to share Dr. Brandon's fire. He's got all that too. So that's why you're here. So the more you start doing that, don't just listen. You need to write. I think the last thing I want to really give people in this regard is you have to write things down. There's a difference between hearing something and ingesting something at a cellular level. Like I'm a writer. I've got notes on notes on notes on notes because it's different when I write it because it's something I'm almost, my hand to the pen to paper is like a contract. And I actually can remember it better. It's like, what's on your to-do list? Once I write it, I can remember 70% more than if I just try to think about it.
Yeah, there's studies on that. Writing it out, there's neurophysiological reasons to write things down. I mean, even if it's just minor things, but definitely big things that you're trying to achieve, you need to be writing those down. And I pushed back against that for a long time because I'm a time efficiency person. Like if you, like you're talking about, the person that has a regimented. I mean, I woke up at 4:15 today because I had things to do. My time is planned out. Every minute of my day is planned out. And I didn't want to write it because it takes longer. And I'm like, why can't I just think it? I'm a really good thinker. And it took me years. And when I finally started writing, I was like, oh my God, why haven't I done this? It takes 5 minutes. Huge difference. So I just wanted to interject there because that was me. I'm like, look, I'm a successful guy. Why do I need to take more time? Time's valuable. No, exponential return.
Can I ask you a question, Dr. Brandon, just to use you as a case study in this example so people can really see the spectrum? If I gave you $10 million, would you change it?
Would I change it?
Would you change waking up at 4 or 5 in the morning? Would you change having a to-do list?
No.
People don't understand. People think that they're going to arrive. A lot of people think they're going to arrive with money and somehow then they're just going to be on a beach and everything's just going to be like heaven. You don't realize. Go ahead.
My wife and I have had this conversation. I could retire today.
Yep.
I could. I'm 40 years old. I could retire today.
Wow.
But that's not what I was put on this planet to do. I have a passion and a purpose, and that purpose is still being carried out. I'm supposed to be a clinician. Mm-hmm. I'm supposed to help people with complex neurological disorders. Mm-hmm. If I lose that purpose, I'm dead. So it wouldn't benefit me. It wouldn't benefit my family if I retired. So why would I? So no.
So what we're hearing, and I've never heard a person who's been successful, actually done it, not just a trust fund kid who actually went through life and said, I'm going to lay it down once I get somewhere financially. What happens is they actually become even more specific. They become even more disciplined. Mm-hmm. It goes back to the spiritual energy. You can't buy it. You can't buy the purpose to wake up in the day and the passion and the joy and the love. Dr. Brandon wants to bring love and passion in this world. He wants to do something. He wants to climb a mountain. That's life, man. That's the breath in you. That's the fire in your eyes. Stop trying to escape and start looking forward. Don't try to go around, go through. I'm going to go around with money. I'm going to go around by hacking this remote job. I'm going to go around by eating this way that's actually gluten-free, but it's gluten-free bread. No. Go through and rebuild yourself. Absolutely. Don't do it temporary to try to be who you used to. Forget who you used to be. Build a tunnel under the old you. Climb up that son of a bitch and go ahead and build the biggest, strongest, best version of you. Divorce things that do not work. And you're going to find that people who figure out how to become a 5%er, a 1%er, always go back at the beginning of the year. They even hire coaches. How can I get another 0.02% better and cleaner? Because that's life. Yep. And so that comes back into healing. Is I realize this is my moment. I really want to give you the climatic moment. Being the best version of yourself in healing incurable disease is the exact same recipe. Let that sit.
Like it. Yeah.
What is different? Brandon comes to me and goes, I want to build a company that's $100 million company and does all this stuff and impacts the world in a big way. And I want to do all this stuff. And that's his best version of him. I want to lose weight. I want to get rid of my back issue. That's the best version. What's different? It's, hey, maybe we should consider fasting. Maybe we should go into ketosis. Maybe we should go do exosomes or stem cells. Maybe we should consider doing more mobility exercise to euthanize your joints and ligaments and movement structure as we go into our 40s, right? Maybe we should do, HBOT, hyperbaric oxygen chamber. What's the difference? It's the same thing. If Brandon wants to become the best version of himself, he's going to get disciplined with what he eats, what he takes, what he journals, when he wakes up, what if he's putting inflammatory things into his body, if he's drinking, if he's smoking. It's not like you're going to arrive somewhere and then everyone's just going to party. You're going to feel terrible on your yacht, okay? If you even did get there. And then there's the wake up. So I think that was the big thing for me is I woke up one day and I had this huge epiphany after practicing meditation. I didn't want to do what my naturopath was pushing me to do. And it was this epiphany. I was like, holy crap, everything I'm doing right now is the exact same recipe of being my best version of myself. I'm not losing time. I'm not losing my 20s. I'm actually getting ahead so I can kill it in my 30s.
Yeah.
I'm 39 years old. It's like, let's go, baby. So all of a sudden I wanted this. I didn't need it. So I ask you right now, are you doing things in your life that you need to? And how do you change that to be things that you want? Get happy to get healthy.
Absolutely. And, going back to your concept of, as you gain success, whether it be with your health or with your life, you're trying to optimize things or whatever, you're right. Like most people, they start getting more refined, more strategic, more disciplined, et cetera. And then even myself, I had, several epiphanies along the way. And I was like, wait a minute, there's professional athletes and they still hire one-on-one coaches. These are the top performers in the world. They're better than the coach, but they're still hiring someone to train and refine them. Why am I not doing the same thing? So yeah, I got business coaching. So it's like once you kind of get that momentum, you go, oh, this feels good. This is my purpose. Let's lean in. And same thing with health. It's like, oh my God, I just made a little improvement. Oh, I I can think more clearly, or whatever the symptom is, right? My gut's feeling better, whatever it is. You get that little improvement, focus on that improvement, celebrate that improvement, celebrate the small wins. We always tell people, because that leads to more momentum, more change. And you're right, where focus goes, energy flows, right? So if you're focusing on, well, I still am not my optimal self, I still haven't, cured my disease or whatever, but you're sitting here and you're 25% better.
Yes.
Man.
Yes.
You're missing the boat.
Let's go.
I love your message.
Yeah. I hope everyone just heard what you just said. Like, listen to that again. Like, I used to get angry because someone would call me and go, how are you? I'm like, oh, the blood's still there. When I decided to heal, it was blood's 30% down. If I can get it 30% down, hands in the air. If I can get 30% down, I can go 50. If I can go 50, I can go 70. You're right. And the people anyone who does say, I made all that money or became a professional athlete or I built that company, if they stop, their life decays.
Yeah. Every single time.
So they become more disciplined because they realize it's not about getting there. It's the journey, and it's about finding love and balance in this new life. Like, I bet you Jeff Bezos is the exact same. It's all fake to him at this point. His money's not even a real thing anymore. He couldn't possibly spend it all. But I guarantee that man, look at him. He got in shape. He got a tan, dating all these people. It's like this man is
got married to someone. He had to change that, right? I mean, come on.
Exactly. So at a certain point, just realize it's not about getting to somewhere that like there's it's an escapism problem. You're not trying to get there. You're trying to rebuild yourself and realize this is how I want to be. And that's how chronic healing and success are the same thing. What you do to heal yourself will give you an edge in your career, in your marriage, in being a father or a mother, or even handling stress, or saying one day, like I always tell people, and once you get to a point where you're, in remission and you're clinical remission, colonoscopy is good and all that. We have hundreds of people who've done that in our program. And I say, now just change it to longevity. I'm doing this because I have IBD. No. I'm doing this because I want to live my most powerful life. The crazy thing is, look at longevity experts. Mark Hyman, you look at Brian Johnson spending $2 million a year. How many supplements does he take a day? 100 supplements a day. Longevity is even more crazy. So desire pushes you even farther than fear. People who want to heal are so scared to take a supplement or change their diet. People who want to live are willing to do anything. They're like, I'll fast 20 hours a day. I don't care. I want to live to 120. I want my knees, my back to feel good at 90. So desire is a much stronger fuel than fear. When you have these epiphanies, you need to condition them. You need to focus on them and realize you're not just trying to get somewhere. You're trying to celebrate and live in that journey and surround yourself with people like that. That's why people who are longevity experts want to hang out with longevity experts. That's why people who've built a life where they've made 20 million want to hang out with people who've made 20 million. That's why people who live in the health space want to hang out with health space. So go to places in your life. You're going, Dane, I need to connect. Then start going to places that people who live in that world, where they would go, where they live. That's why I moved to Southern California. I didn't do it for the taxes. Tell you that. So, but it's like I'm constantly, if I'm out somewhere, it's like fermented, farm to table. It's organic. So I've been seeing some of my clients or people in my program just come up to me and say hi and stuff like that, because we're in the same vicinity. And so your community grows. Because if everyone you loved was gluten-free, how hard would it be?
Seriously.
If everyone you loved woke up at 6 a.m., how hard would it be?
Absolutely.
If everyone was sober, how hard would it be?
Yeah.
Lead.
Amen, man.
Yeah.
I love it. Well, I know you've got to jump to a meeting, so I want to be conscious of your time. Man, you're electrifying. I love your energy. I love your passion. I love your message. This was definitely a different conversation than I thought we were going to have. And I love this better. Like, I'm glad that you took this approach, because this is the truth.
Yeah.
This is the truth. This is the foundational truth, foundational truth that everyone needs to hear. So I really, truly thank you for that. Can you please just tell people real quick, how can they learn more about you, your program? How can they find you? Like all of those good things? Yeah.
And I hope this was served everyone in their time. I know we could have gone into root cause and microbiome and gut lining and all this different stuff.
We will do it again.
Yeah, we can do it again and go into that. But that is the foundation of all success. If you do that, I promise you guys, if you really take this and run with it, I think you're going to get a lot of discovery. And, just run with trust and integrity with where you go and why. It's okay to fail, but we got to become the CEO of our health and our lives, and we got to try and go for it. And so our program, Shield, supplements, herbs, imagination, exercise, lifestyle, diet, Shield. And we customize plans. We don't believe in the answer. We find your answer. And we're a team. 80% of our team has IBD ourselves. We have NDs and DCs and RNs on staff. We work globally, Africa, Thailand, all over, 75% US and Canada. And yeah, we're just on a mission and we're passionate. So if you guys need any support or help, we hold a 1-hour free IBD strategy session to discuss your case, medications, what you've tried, how it's worked, what you think is needed different to get you optimal success. And so no tricks, no hassle, no gimmicks. We just hold that space. So I think whatever you do, the last thing I want to leave you with is just build your community, find your people, and find people who lead with integrity, find people with authenticity. And I know Brandon probably would agree with me on this. It's like, it's not worth it in life. Like, you want to have trust with people. You want to have love with people. You want to have people that 100% they got your back. You got their back. You guys know what each other means, and you want to build long-term relationships. I'm a big fan of longevity versus sporadic change. And thanks for having me. And if we can help you and it's a good fit, we'll do everything in our power, and we're here for you. Dr. Brandon, thank you for having me in that space to communicate.
Absolutely. Very powerful message. Thank you so much for your time today. I appreciate it.
We hope today's episode has inspired you to take that next step toward your best self. Remember, the path to longevity is paved with small, daily decisions. Your journey is unique, and every step, every choice brings you closer to your ultimate vision of a healthier, happier life. For more insights, tips, and resources, visit drbrandoncrawford.com.